Welcoming you back to crypto's juiciest news, baby dolls. BTC, $110,000. What came out with the jobs numbers? Did more juice come out with Donald Trump and Epstein? That's going to be quite juicy when I go through that with you, friends. What about too late major pal? Michael Saylor not being included in the S&P 500. Justin Sun. All of that coming your way and more, friends. But first, what the hell is going on with this market, bro? Can we just go up, dude? We've been waiting freaking thousands and thousands and thousands of hours, aka years. Jeez. So BTC, friends. $110,000. We're still around this zone. I guess it's nice that it's a monthly candle. We've got some cranky G stuff to go through, friends. The BTC candle, remember, it's rectangle, up timber. Maybe we did front run it. The big thing, friends, we know what we're waiting for, right? It's Mr. Russell 2000, pretty much the last US index to go through the high. What we can actually do, friends, is we just go and check out. So the US jobs came out. Remember, it was kind of, we knew unemployment was going to get a bit worse, but it didn't crack hard. It was just one basis point worse for unemployment. So instead of 4.2% last one, it ticked up to 4.3% unemployment, which is nothing really to be concerned about, really. But it's just kind of increasing the odds that you get more of these ratey McRate cuts, and everyone gets more confident to price it in. Now, if we have a quick look at the Russell 2000, this is the daily chart. If it goes up and it finishes with a dodgy, friends, I want to show you. If you're not, look, I'm telling you now, friends. Okay. If you have any pet squirrels or pet pigeons, please ask them to leave. Because racist Russell 2000 is very racist. Wait till I show you what it did on a short time frame. Let's actually look at this piece of crap 5-minute chart. Bro, what the hell is this? Look at this absolute garbage. Look at this absolute garbage. Goes up. And here we are. By the way, this is bullish, okay? The S&P 500, this is what it does. Okay, it goes up, fakes out, and then it scams everybody down, market makers, and then it actually just goes back up. That's what it does. Breaks a high, breaks a low. Oh no, let's actually go up. That's very, very, very common. That's pretty much how they all move. They all move like that. It's kind of funny how just to see them do stuff like that. Wake up, break high. So yeah, so it does all these scam move things like this. Break the high, break the low, come up. I know we eventually came back down, but we are on our way up. So yeah, I guess everything's kind of moving okay. It doesn't feel like it. It just feels like it's taken forever. The Russell 2000 is value 237. It's got to go to 244. It's only, if you check out, friends, from the all-time high, it's only around 2.6%. So we're getting closer and closer to the Moggening where we finally go through. Remember, the Russell 2000 is small cap US stocks. 2,000 companies in there. Only 1,000 are actually profitable. There remains 1,000 companies, don't make any money, but, you know, no one cares because everyone here's just a degen anyway, friends. That's pretty much what it comes down to, right? So let's look at the BTC weekly chart. We're still hanging around. Remember, we've touched a very family-friendly way, type of touching, touch the 21 EMA. So, you know, we're grinding it out week by week to see what happens. Before we even crack on through, friends, I'm going to go through, obviously, more BCB charts just to have a closer sniff, if you know what I mean. A lot of people, I know, man, like, so we're in this period, we're growing on skepticism, okay? We are growing. I know it feels like it's always 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. Like, when are we going to get the 15 steps forward? I know, it's taken forever. I don't know when. All I can tell you is that it's you and me and Spoonie against the rest of the world, okay? We don't need Link's other sword here. We've got Spoonie! That's what counts, okay? Now, there are a lot of people, friends, they've sold their bags, okay? A lot. And a lot of us are frustrated as well because we're like, man, how we are like worse than a year and a half ago. No, more than a year and a half ago. This never happened before, but it is what it is, okay? The total crypto industry is at still 3.7 trillion, man. And I think it's going to 10. I hope it goes to 10. But it's still so low. So what I think about is, right now, it's not about whether markets are going to go down or not. It's, are you worried? And my answer is no, I'm not worried here. Because it's only strong hands. You don't have any inkling that things are going to get better. Nothing. It's just whatever. You're still holding, right? The rates are still high, etc., etc. The time to get concerned, I guess, is when we are at a huge valuation and we go up fast. That's when we start to get concerned because we think, okay, you know, we're at 10 trillion. So either, you know, let's say we do get to 10 trillion. Then you got to think, okay, what are the odds we just rocket to 20 trillion? You got to give those odds, and then you got to give odds where we've actually got to fill out the volume of this range before we're finally ready to go up in the next zone. Okay, so that's, you got to give these things to odds. And at that point, so you don't know if we're going to hit exactly 10 trillion. You've got to be careful. But at that point, even if you're like, man, Sammy, I've got no idea what's going to happen. I'm just a coin toss. Okay, that's 50-50. You basically tell yourself, you take off half of your portfolio out, you leave it in stable coins, and you just wait. Okay? You got to remember as well, friends, you know, if you just sold 50% of your portfolio in 2021, right, you literally killed it. You killed it. And what do I mean by it? Because you get to buy back in, because nothing drops like 16% in crypto. They drop 95%. You know what I mean? So that's a big advantage that you have just by taking any amount of profit. So even if you do take a 50-50 there, but you got to be careful, right? What if we stop at 8.7 trillion? We never hit the 10. Because it doesn't stay up there for like 3 months and make you think about exiting. No. It pops there, and 90 days after the top, everything's down 75%. Yep, that's what happened, right? That's just what happens every single time. It happened 3 out of 3 cycles. We go up so much, but we're not nowhere near that. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to confirm friendship. Let's play some fairy music. You and I. Remember, friends, we did get Maria's underpants. We got extra agility. Any fireballs that they throw at you from those archers sitting on top of the towers, don't worry, okay? You'll be able to dodge them. Now I'm going to show you some, let's go through some blockchain backer charts. So you've already seen, right, we're waiting for the Russell 2000, okay? But also, if you go a bit closer, what's the Russell 2000 waiting for? Well, the Russell 2000, being very racist, it's waiting for gold, okay? Gold is at a new all-time high. I don't know where blockchain backer does the whole massive fib, but what I can do is maybe we can have a look at it. Maybe it is here. Woo! Maybe it is somewhere like that. It's at the second fib here. Maybe as well, if we go look at this range that it's spent the last 2 years, okay, that's pretty much it. So you can see there's 2 fibs here. There's major macro fib up here. So it's actually blew right through it. And then maybe we're on the second one here. So there's just 2 here. So let's just look at this one, okay? So this might be a stalling out period. So you're just going to see him is going to get another chart here where he kind of expects this comes back down, and then we're doing these sideways. By the way, this isn't even a big move. This is gold is dropping 20% or whatever after it's doing a giant move, okay? That's what we're waiting for. Gold is actually going bid. Gold is the true risk off of the world. Gold is when you exit all fiat. You know, it's just it moves so slow. And gold only hedges you. It only hedges you in terms of protecting you for the money supply inflation rate. It doesn't give you anything extra on that. That's why gold doesn't make you rich at all. It just literally full on long-term inflation hedge, right? Long-term money supply hedge. So they're printing at like 6 to 8% of per year across the whole world. Yeah, that's about your gold rate, right? But if you're just matching gold, you just get to keep your wealth. You don't get to you basically get to store it outside of the system, right? Analog system. But you don't get to grow your wealth, right? If you want to grow your wealth, you got to be in the S&P 500, but you're barely growing it as well, man, because you're just getting 10% per year, and that's huge. It used to be 8%, but now they're printing more, right? Remember when the world economy died? So that's why we're in crypto, right? That's why we're in crypto. Bitcoin used to grow like hundreds of percent per year. Now it's growing on average 67. Yeah? I mean, they're printing 8% inflation. So like you just keep holding crypto until Bitcoin's growth rate goes all the way down to 10%. And then it's literally, hey, do you want to own Bitcoin or do you want to own S&P 500? Okay, that's when it would. That's when you got to think about, what do I want to own? Because the S&P 500 is it's got the US government backing, okay, and they will keep printing money to pop it up, and you get a bit of dividends on it. But that's a long way to go, man. It's a long way to go. You know, that's a couple of cycles to go. So what we're going to do, we're going to confirm friendship, and we're going to look at some charts. This is a zoom up again. I've shown you this every day, pretty much. This is the Bitcoin fractal, what BCB thinks we're following, and this is where we are right now. So we are in this critical moment. Are we going to break this structure, go down, and start the bear? Or are we going to go up and continue this part? Are we actually here? This part here. But then he actually thinks Bitcoin 130, and then it's all over. I don't know. I don't know what happens. I'm thinking if it does happen, this is going to happen. So what I'm doing here, see, I drew this channel. That's what I think. Why do I think that? I hope. I don't know. It's cope. I don't know. Flipping the coin. Kind of hope it happens. Stablecoin, super cycle, and all these other things. As well, friends, I've got to remind you. I really got to remind you of this. Okay, just Friends, something has been telling me for a long time. I get whispers from the universe. I'm here 18 hours a day, okay? Just in crypto, okay? I don't know anything about anything else. Like, I can't tell your future. I don't know how to channel stuff. Can't talk to UFOs. Nothing, okay? I'm barely wipe my own bum. But just here all the time, man. Something is telling me we're going to see an event, a price, a weekly candle, don't know what it is. Something where Bitcoin actually gets slammed down and then like altcoins go up, right? Something's going to happen. Now, that's actually usually happens at the very, very end, but I think that might start it. And what it will do is I can see myself confirming that Bitcoin dominance was artificially high. Friends, if we go to 2024, think about this. Look at this. Okay, look how ridiculously high Bitcoin dominance is. Expensive still, right? Trump came in here, friends. Trump came in here, right? Look at this. And this was 2024. Like, think logically, why should a pro-crypto administration, SEC gone, Gary Gensler gone, pro-crypto IPOs, crime season, Justin Sun, Binance, Ripple, all these other crime going on out here, why should that, which is very pro-altcoins, and Ethereum spot ETF, why should Bitcoin dominance be higher? It shouldn't. It should not be higher at all. But, markets don't work off logic here. They just work off how people feel. And how people feel is because the business cycle is garbage, they can't think of the future too far because everything is like really garbage now, right? They don't have that ignition moment. But that's why it's just confidently telling me, man, we're gonna see some move that just breaks us down, and we're gonna start to see something like that, right? And yeah, hopefully we get to see it shortly because we've been waiting a long time. Now, if we crack on through as well, friends, I remember I showed you the BTC chart. This chart is very important. This is the Ethereum zoom up chart. All right, this is the chart everyone in crypto should be watching. It's this fractal. Ethereum is right here. That's where we are right here, around 4,300. Where we're zipping around here. So hopefully the next part is a zip up through September, a bit of bull flagging, and then we're actually ready to go. All right, that's where we're ready to go. Hopefully we go to Pumptober if we are following that. That'll be enormous. This will be the actual start. That's Ethereum breaking its all-time high. I just got to remind you, Ethereum's all-time high is literally around here. Okay, literally. So breaking outside of the box, it's new all-time high. This is the fractal from Bitcoin. It did this similar pattern. Goes up, does this bull flag. Everyone gets worried that it's over. And then we go and we continue the friendship. This chart here just shows you, once again, I showed it to you yesterday. Remember, this is the difference between, so the deviation, right? So you have the difference between the stock market, the Dow Jones, they're all strong. Nasdaq and stocks are all strong. And then you have trash crypto, and you have trash Russell 2000, I think. So pretty much we're lagging. Obviously, we're lagging. But, see, because people don't know what they're doing, which is fine. Okay, like I said, friends, I can barely wipe my own bum, so I don't blame people. I'm here 18 hours a day, okay? No one has time for this. I do. That's why you watch me. Like and subscribe, okay? So, just because crypto is lagging doesn't mean it's bad, okay? There's a price to all these, okay? There's not just prices in up and down, as in there's a cost to these. There's risk you have, okay? The risk is you don't know how long it's going to take for these things to play out in different parts of their own little mini cycles, yeah? However, if you hold a long term, you just pray that you make it to the end. So if it was as easy as the index spear goes up and then your laggard goes up 3x, no one would ever buy the index spear. No one. If it was that amazing and easy, it doesn't happen like that. Instead, what happens is the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones, they go up and they grind for most of the cycle, right? And they're giving you about your 8 to 10% per year. And then crypto's having these bursts up, bursts down, and they get the collapses. But eventually we hit this point where we just start to take over. That's what we're waiting for. This is the Russell 2000, racist Russell 2000, and it's correlated with, you can see total 3 once again. So they're both towards their all-time highs. So that's what we're waiting for, friends. Like this is this last final moment. Gold is like at this big extension point. Hopefully it tops out, slaps down, and Russell 2000 starts to go up, right? Obviously, most people, you already see it in the charts. You don't even need to know the news. You don't need to know anything about the US Fed or anything. It's all priced in right there. Like everything after that is just like it's friendship and kindness and entertainment, right? This is the Smelly Poop 500, and right now, that's its big chart, what it used to do before. And this is a smaller chart. This is what it's doing. This is the daily chart. This is the 1 hour chart. So you can see like it's the 1 hour chart is like it's ready to go and just burst up. And hopefully along this move up that happens, maybe racist Russell 2000 is doing like a fast snap up itself and it's starting to catch up, you know? So as you can see, man, that's just how the world works, right? So if you know how Bitcoin is risk off in crypto, yeah. In the whole world, they have their own risk off things as well, like gold. You have the Smelly Poop 500, etc., right? Obviously, the higher your wealth, the more you're more inclined to get it to get it in there because you don't need to swing as hard. For us, if you want to, anyone wants to climb the rank, you got to take on more risk. Yeah, you got to take on more risk. You got to sit through the pain. You're delaying gratification. You don't get your cute little 10% per year like the S&P 500 or whatever it is, right? We have these huge minus 80 to 90% crashes. No one knows what's going on. All of crypto Twitter come out and say, ha ha ha, 90% down. Looks like you got scammed. There were people going to miss out all over again. You know what I mean? Even though they know, man, Doge went down 94% twice. XRP went down 90%. Name a coin. Ethereum went down 94%. Cardano went down 98%. Aave went down 99.18%. So pretty much as you can see, like there's so many coins that go down. Now, you don't want to anchor to the unicorns, but even though they know these people, they just get too scared, you know, which is good. The fact that they're scared means that you and I are early enough. Check this out too. We have this chart here, friends, just showing you more correlations. On the right, you have the Smelly Poop 500 and the Bitcoin. You can see the red in the Bitcoin. We're still waiting to wait up. See, Smelly Poop 500, the S&P, see how it's through the highs. It's through its highs pretty much. So hopefully Bitcoin comes and does a last catch up. And then we can go and continue the friendship experience. Let's play some angel music. We need some angel music here, you know, during these tough times, friends. It's been quite a journey, right? This is the US 3-month bond yield. Notice that the yield's going down. They're starting to price in more cuts. That's because the jobs number has been weakened. It pretty much, it's confirmed for everyone. It's like, oh, it's starting to turn. Right, we'll go through the data and everything out here, but you don't really need to worry about that. This is that big gold chart. Telling you about, you see it's like at a big extension, might come back and slap down, and then it might just end up doing this chart. So gold might be here, and then what we might see it is go down and down and down and down, and then maybe there's like some big old season wave mania. There's a retracement. You never know. Maybe old season one day, and then wave 2 is here. Maybe that's old season wave 1, wave 2. When gold does it, that's what I'm saying. Maybe this is what happens. Maybe. Just guessing, don't know. Maybe they don't even correlate. Maybe it's just gold just comes out of favor or anything out here just because it's done a turbo nuclear pump. Now, let's check it out. So, the US jobs have released, friends, and it's a bit poopy. We had 4.3% unemployment rate. What I like to look at as well, you can actually see, you look at the CME FedWatch tool, they're pretty much now pricing in. They're pricing in, there's a 16% chance of now a 50 basis point cut. Okay, in a few weeks when major loser Powell meets with the other major losers. So it's like, it's definitively that we are getting 25 basis points, but there could be like a slight chance of a 50 basis point cut. This is the US 2-year spread, 2-year to Fed funds. Do you remember, friends? It used to be hovering at around 0.65 here, which is between 2 and 3 cuts. It's right in between them. Okay, but now look what's happened. It is down to 0.82. So now it's not, friends, this is a wild. I literally told you this 48 hours ago beforehand. I told you this like literally, I think in like the beginning of the week, beginning of the month, okay? I said, it's at 2 to 3 cuts. As the jobs number comes out bad, the market starts to price it and it goes, okay, you've confirmed the crack. We're now going to not think of 2 to 3 cuts. Now it's going to be 3 to 4 cuts. That's literally exactly what it does. That's pretty much it, friends. Okay, see, this is why people, man, if people in crypto, they think they have an edge looking at these trillions of dollars betting. They don't, dude. With every data point that comes out, the probability shifts up or down, shifts or down. It prices it all in. We love yous. But obviously, what it can't price in is shocks. Yeah, it can't price in shocks, you know. That's where a lot of the volatility and stuff comes in. So we might say, so obviously, friends, major loser Powell, okay, what Trump wants is he wants this thing to come down and he wants them to actually cut so we can roll over the debt. If you look at what happened, friends, this was in the Japan crisis. Do you remember last year? We started a price in 6 to 7 cuts, and they didn't cut at all, and then it went back the other way. Okay? Do you remember we reverted the Japan yen to Pokemon Island collapsing? Okay, and now we might go for it again. That's why this game it's tough. It's tough because there's a lot of fake outs. Now, I've got a quote here from Trump. Jerome Too Late Powell should have lowered rates long ago. As usual, he is too late. So obviously, friends, major loser Powell is going to cop so much hate. Oh my gosh. This major loser. Oh my god. Trump made the power of memes. That's it. He's got us calling major loser. That's it. Yeah, he's pretty much, in the eyes of the people, he's won. That's it. You've memed it. Man, friends, I'm telling you, I think the world's evolving, man. In the next 10 years, you're going to have a meme game. Yeah, you have to have a meme game. If you don't have a meme game, you are silenced. Which is, friends, kind of funny, and it makes sense, right? All of us consume, like you're watching my video, right? You will consume my videos, right? Between, 10 minutes, juicy news, 40, 50 minutes. But all these other people, they'll spend like 6 hours reading some analysis essay, and it's boring. There's no stimulation or anything. And then all the videos you and I watch are like, TikTok brain rot generation is an extreme version of it. But everything's just getting condensed, bite-sized. So no one has time to read like your 15,000 word garbage essay or whatever out here. You know what I mean? But we remember the memes. Yeah, you got to have a good meme game. Yeah, if you want to be a politician, that's it. That's the future. Because all of us, whether we respond to that, I respond to that. And by the way, you all remember that. Major loser. By the way, we didn't even call him Jerome anymore. We just call him major loser. Oh, man, times are changing. Now, friends, crowd favorite. Actually, what we should do is let's go through this, okay? So there's this news that's come out. It's so shocking, but it's not really shocking. Speaker Johnson says Donald Trump was an FB, this word, fancy banana investigator, informant to take Epstein down. Damn, man, there's some leaks. There's some leaks coming out here. They're going to have to shoot someone. Makes total sense here. He's basically just confirming Trump's a plant. He's just a plant. Yeah, he was allowed to he was given success. Now, obviously, he's against a lot of people, but he's friends with the right people. I guess they were powerful enough, That's the game, right? Politics. But this, man, we went through this a long time ago. We're like, hey, at least we get the blue haired, the genital chopping. We got to stop that part. But we knew, friends. Look, you know this game. We already know this. Okay, there's not an honest politician on this earth. Maybe like Tim Burchett, right? But he's only honest because you can't even call him a politician. He gets invited to nothing. It's just like he just walks around in the Congress. He's just like, well, they don't invite. He literally said they don't invite me to anything but right here. So it's man, if you're in, that's as what I told you, friends. There's insiders and outsiders. Okay, it's not black and white, red or blue. It's not colors up and down. Doesn't matter your skin. It doesn't. It's literally just insiders and outsiders, man. I don't know what they're doing behind closed doors. Probably some satanic stuff. Probably a bit of sacrificing children. Whatever it is, I'm telling you right now, it's insiders and outsiders, and you and I are definitely on the outside. Check it out, friends. Now, without further ado, crowd favorite Tom Lee has added 55,000 Ethereum, $250 million. Another clip. Tom Lee buying more Ethereum. Now, why it's funny and it's friendly is because everyone's still fading it. I mean, they're still fading it, friends. They're still saying, don't mid-curve it, don't mid-curve it. We are the greatest. We're the great. But Wall Street is literally buying Ethereum and telling you we want ETH, which is interesting. Now, friends, remember, Michael Saylor is the Evangelion for Bitcoin. Tom Lee is the Evangelion for Ethereum, right? So Solana have now erected Kyle Salami. Okay, and by the way, I know this looks like a joke. It's actually real. And I'm not making this up. So Kyle Salami, he's the guy who says Solana will flip Ethereum. He is the VC of Multi-Chain Capital. He's now the chairman. They're going to aim to raise $1 billion. Now, you got to remember, friends, he's the chairman of Multicoin, Galaxy, and Jump. So they all own locked Solana tokens. How are they going to raise $1 billion? They're going to use their locked tokens, which they can't sell. They're going to put it in the treasury. They're going to wrap it up, and then retailer retardios are going to buy that. So they've effectively dumped on everyone, and they're able to say, hey, come get this digital asset treasury strategy. So that's what they're doing. And one of the guys, Avi, who is, I guess, if you're a noticer, he is also a noticer guy. I don't know why he turned on him a bit. I don't know why. Did they like leave him out of a deal? But he was the one who basically revealed to everybody why they're doing it. And then that's when everyone was able to connect the pieces of the puzzle, and they got to see it. So, more crypto shenanigans, I know here's the thing. There's a bit of crime season happening. It's crime season, baby, but it's not like heaps, you know what I mean? Because people are like, oh, but this coin goes down too, and then this guy's doing it. It's not that, okay? Well, I want to see a bit connect. Like, I want to see the crime right in our face, right? That's when we know it's the end. As I mentioned, friends, gold reached an all-time high of 3,600. It could be the final Jeep pop before it retraces. Yes, of course, Uncle Peter shift partying. Now, in big news of what actually happened, friends, today. So, MicroStrategy, everyone expected Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy to get included in the S&P 500 index, yeah? Remember, the S&P 500, Smelly Poop 500, everyone's DCA money buying into it. So if Michael Saylor can get in, he gets guaranteed money coming in. And then when the DCA money comes in, when it like slowly grinds up the price of his MicroStrategy stock, he can borrow on that money and go buy Bitcoin. So effectively, all that DCA money from the Smelly Poop 500 is like an infinite bid on Bitcoin, okay, with the American economy. However, they did not include him. Everyone said he was ripe for the inclusion. He didn't get included. So the MST and MNAV is still at 1.35. Now, the index is interesting, friends. I mentioned this to you yesterday. It's an actual secret meeting. The Smelly Poop 500, the people who decide what companies are in there, I thought it was purely market cap weighted. It's not. Okay? It's a secret meeting, and they don't tell you all the filters. Okay, because they don't want companies to game the filters. They want it to be a pure signal. And yes, obviously, it's very, very lucrative to get into there because you're like, you're prestige and everybody DCAs. You're the American economy, Johnson & Johnson baby bomb powder. That's why it's really important. Now, with the same breath of them fading MicroStrategy to be included, they went and put in someone else, Robinhood. Robinhood, friends, gets selected to join the Smelly Poop 500 index. So remember, Robinhood it's an exchange broker, effectively, right? Do you remember they were the ones they actually banned the buy button? Do you remember GME? Robinhood got the call from the White House. They said you got to ban the buy button. I can't believe we actually said the system was corrupt, and then they banned the buy button, so we couldn't liquidate their $2 billion insider friend. they banned the button. Did that actually happen? Yeah, it actually happened, man. They actually banned the button. Man, this game is so rigged. Oh my gosh, man. It just brings a tear to my eye just thinking about, man, like, the rumors are true. I mean, the prophecy it is rigged beyond imagination, friends. Oh my gosh. If that's happening here, I wonder about the non-human intelligence stuff out here. But we'll talk more about that later. Now, Robinhood gets in. Robinhood actually make money, though. They actually make money. Remember, but hey, man, Michael Saylor's money-making strategy is let me borrow money and then Bitcoin. I'm leveraged long Bitcoin, pretty much. Man, isn't that the crypto spirit, though? We're just, everyone got a bit of leverage too. It's just, oh man, I hope we get in there, man. And look, friends, it could be, if crypto grows enough, these other companies, they could all just end up on the S&P 500, but they're not going to allow it. No way. They're going to have to put a stop to it, because then you just have the American consumer is just bidding on altcoins. That'll be wild, man. So it's going to be controversial. We'll see. The corrupt SEC and the CFTC are weighing plans to bring perpetual contracts onshore for US traders. Why I am mentioning this to you is, once again, it's showing you crypto has won the game. All of Boomerville, all of stock market Boomerville, they are capitulating to us. We're not trading stocks. We don't care. We're not shutting off our exchanges 16 hours a day and on weekends. We don't do that, dude. We're 24/7. You understand? You know when we stop? When the drugs wear off. That's how much we party here in crypto, okay? So all of them, they're now bringing perpetual contracts. Remember, friends, perpetual contracts, it's invented by Arthur Hayes. It's just, yeah, baby, it just depends. We're winning. We're winning. They adopt our memes. They're now 24/7 trading, crank up the leverage. That's the whole game. Don't do it. Don't do it. But it's just, I'm just telling you, like, you can't stop. You just got to be smarter, wiser, and friendlier. That's wild, man. That's wild. Perpetual contract. Friends, imagine one day, man, I can't wait to see if they make perpetual contracts for like all the other futures products. That'll be so good. There's no delivery. You just have it 24/7. It's a perfect representation of crypto because the way that usually you're meant to trade every contract that lasts 3 months. And then after the 3 months, it basically deletes and then you move on, if you roll over into the next contract. But that's because you have a delivery of a commodity. That's where it all started, 100 years ago. So you're buying a 3-month future of wheat because you want to buy wheat at this price in 3 months. Or you want to sell. You want to be able to sell it at this price, right? You want to offer someone wheat in 3 months. But now no one takes delivery of anything, and we've realized that we're just turbo hyper gambling mind share from things from place to place. It's all one big fat Ponzi. So we're like, who cares about the delivery thing? Like, just kind of attach it there just in case, but we don't get on and gives a shit about it. It is funny, but it is representation of everything, right? Justin Sun has said his World Liberty Finance tokens were unreasonably frozen and calls on the team to unlock them, stating that early investors deserve equal rights and that token freezing violates legitimate rights of investors. So, friends, our friend Ivan, the great technologist, the very tall technologist, he read this out and then he accidentally gave product market fit to pDAI. He discovers pDAI without even knowing it. Let's listen to our friend Ivan.
Do not, man. What are you speaking about? Tokens are sacred and very inviolate. Listen, it's you have buy centralized coin, he knows it. You buy, let's say you hold Tether, it can be frozen. You hold USDC, it can be frozen. You hold anything else that has a freeze function, it can be frozen. So in this case, it got frozen. Anyways, we have a lot to discuss.
Did you just hear that, friends? Did you hear that? Ivan just discovered pDAI. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Now, I'll play devil's advocate. Okay? I'll advocate for the devil. The devil will say, no, Sami, we can have our own stablecoin without an admin function. We have it. It's called estrogen DAI. Okay. We have estrogen DAI. Is estrogen DAI, Ethereum DAI, is that a claimable ownership on something else which can transfer value? No, it's not. If you watch my videos, you know what I'm talking about. I don't have time to explain it, okay? But because we don't know all the puzzle pieces. I don't have all the answers. If we had all the answers, the price would be way higher because people could see the market price. I'm just a believer, okay? Richard Hart, remember famously in 2022, he says, I found the way to transfer value without setting tokens or something. And then he basically, something like that. And he said, I'm just going to let the regulators shoot themselves in the foot first. So that's why the prophecy is, we don't know. We're not guessing because there's layer 2 things with PulseChain. The prophecy is something to do with a bridge or protocol thing that your pDAI doesn't get sold, right? It's a claimable ownership. So you put it somewhere and it gives you, so you're basically getting a loan of equal value to something else. Don't know how it works. Like, I'm not a code dude. Matt Yeater and everyone else, they've seen a lot of the inner workings and stuff. It's all on the chain if you want to go look at it. But yes, that's what it comes down to. Speaking of friendship and kindness, PulseChain prices aren't moving anywhere, friends. Pretty much 3 and 4% just for the P tokens. But yeah, everything's just pretty much flat. Hopefully we do see better days ahead. Everyone's waiting and waiting and waiting. Yeah, we can't do anything, bro. Business cycle. I told you racist Russell 2000, right? We literally can't move unless racist Russell 2000 starts complying. And yeah, man, I know it's taking forever. What can you do? Well, like, let's look at our options. You can sell and leave, or you just got to keep holding infinitely. You know? That's why, friends, a lot of people, I know they get cut because when I'm faced with this, I go, oh, I'm going to keep holding infinitely. And the people who sell and leave, they get enraged Because they go, oh, you're never leaving. You're gonna stay with these to zero. And I'm like, yes, that's the point. That's the point. How do you think early Bitcoin people hold? Bro, Bitcoin went up 34,000x in the first cycle, and then it dropped 94%. No asset in history has ever done that, except gold. It didn't even drop as bad as that, but then it took 17 years to come back. People held their Bitcoin, and it came back after like 2 years, okay? Back to the all-time high, broke the all-time high. Do you understand? Like, they thought they were in for 17 years. That was the only precedent in history. The Dow Jones, the stock market, 1929 Great Depression, dropped 90%, took 17 years to come back as well. So they're like, oh, wow, crap, are we like trapped in this for 17 years? Did I just lose? Like, if you put 10,000 in there, you're like, oh, man, did I just literally just lose? I lost my money. I'm like, it's totally gone. No, but then it came back. If you ask them in the middle of the pain, they're like, oh, how long are you willing to wait this for? They're like, I don't know. You see what I mean? You never had all the answers. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You never had all the answers. You just needed to have belief. President Trump is reportedly considering blocking US tech companies from outsourcing jobs to India. And friends, this also relates to this next piece. The US unemployment rate for ages 16 to 24 rises to 10.5%. So, as you get to see, friends, okay, yeah, it's very obvious. A lot of the first world countries, politicians are all bribed. They're all doing mass immigration. They're diluting the white race diluting, not just white, they're diluting every race. They're diluting everyone. Very obvious. But look, I know there's obviously conspiracy if you're a noticer. There is, I can't use the word conspiracy because there's so much evidence for it. Okay, I'm not going to use that stupid coconut intelligence agency word. It depends what view you want to have. Is it a race thing or is it a money thing? Or is it maybe both? Or is it none? If it's a race thing, then you think they're doing it just because they want to eradicate all the races. But it could be that. But also, you got to understand, friends, as well, governments, yeah, they have like their 3-month spending stuff and they see their yearly budget things. And they know how much demand is needed to keep a bid on the fiat Ponzi. Because if the fiat Ponzi starts spiraling, they got to make sure it doesn't crack. So, because people aren't having enough babies, they got to immigrate people. That's the way to get the population to grow up, right? That's why when AI comes in, if we have a lot of robots and the robots are productive, then that's why like everyone's really excited. So we're not there yet, but you could be excited for the future because we no longer need to have immigration at extreme rates anymore, right? The wealth can be made from your robots and your AI agents. They're doing all the work, then they don't sleep, right? So you can see, but here's the thing, like we know that, but man, we want to see the sexy robots right now, you know? Matt, one of the Chinese robots that Matt's got, remember they're doing sidekicks to the head. So like, can we put some boobies on them, put a wig and lipstick, and can we like stop the sidekicks because you're kind of scaring me? Can we get to the inspirational part? So that's what we're waiting for. Also, right now, you get to see, friends, in many countries, the youth unemployment is going up. Why? Because the friends are getting a lot of people come from India. Yeah, 18 people stick in a unit, so they get the average person's rent is cheaper. And they're literally sleeping 15 minutes a day, right? They're sleeping just as much as I am, and they're actually working, like standing up 18 hours a day at the 7-Eleven or whatever it is. And so they're all taking all the jobs, but a lot of people get upset with that. But man, because their labor's so cheap, that's why they're there. You know what I mean? The labor's so cheap. So what are you going to do, right? The politicians are getting bribed, so it's one big mess. And look, this thing is only allowed to be acceptable because our GDPs are all going up. Yeah. Our GDPs are going up. Eventually, there is a recession. Eventually. Hopefully not soon. I want our double bubble alt season. But eventually there's a recession. Then you have a spiral of jobs. The big adults and the youthful adults losing jobs. Everyone's getting poorer. And what happens is, crime season? Dude, it becomes like a crime summer. It becomes crime summer. So all these people just start stealing. And then the crime goes up. And yes, then you have the revolts, and then everything gets worse until eventually you bottom out. But what does that bottoming out look like? Right? Does that mean, because like if you stop the immigrants, you spiral the prices of assets, houses even more. Houses are the economy, friends, with retailers. If house prices go down, retailers get literally shocked. You understand what I mean? So this might be you and I, our last big chance where we can see this coming. Hopefully, crypto pumps high enough and then you basically, friends, you got to literally go through like all the shops. Ever watch like Last of Us or any of those other zombie movies? You literally just got to start nailing, get the wooden planks, nail the sides of your house. Friends, get one of your rifles, like so. Get one of your rifles. You just be aiming at the zombies. Okay, you're gonna be popping off all the dead ones, you know, and maybe because no one's looking, you're like, hey, I know that guy. He shielded me that celebrity token. No one knows he wasn't a zombie yet. You know what I mean? There's no rules in that point. So, but this is what always happens. Okay. The thing is though, now you have a record number of immigrants and everything out here, so things will they're going to get very, very, very spicy. Remember, the only reason why this is not a big problem that's flared up yet is all our GDPs are growing up together in the world. We're all correlated, yeah. But if our GDPs all start going down, what's going to happen, man? They've only got one bottom, by the way. You know, the answer is you got to long Bitcoin and crypto and everything all over again. The thing is, though, when they print money, it's first to stop the damage, you know, and they can't get it inflationary. So that's what's coming ahead at some point. But we got to get this. We got to get the quantum robotics. We got to get that part first, you know. So we'll see. Eric Trump says crypto is growing faster than the internet, which is true. That's why the growth rates are still big, friends. They're still wonderful. We are still early enough to crypto. I don't say we're the earliest. We're still early enough. Where are we going to go from here? Remember, I showed you the Ethereum chart, friends. It's all about meth. That sweet, sweet, juicy meth. That's what we're here for. We need this thing to eventually go to the top, and show us you are ready for a $5,000 plus Ethereum. Until then, you and I, friends forever, like, subscribe, belly button and all. Tell mum and dad you love them. Catch you in the next one.